Students, it's time, that fateful time. We've come all this way, and now the focus comes back to you. It's our final civics lesson ever! Feel the excitement? Good. Buckle up, students. It's time to ride off into the sunset with our last lesson of the class. Let's go. In our course's last lesson, you will analyze the source of democracy in order to evaluate the revolutionary potential of American citizenship. Today's essential question: why is the American citizen a revolutionary idea? Without further ado, let's get started. In the previous lesson, we re-examined the building blocks of American citizenship. The history of civilization has been a process of successes and failures, with humanity at times progressing toward periods of stability and enlightenment, and at other times regressing back to its more violent and wretched past. Democracy, the highest form of government, emerged from this process as an answer to the problem of tyranny. It gives the individual, working in concert with other individuals, the central role of directing civilization. The empowerment that democracy offers the individual challenged the existing belief that the common person needed to be ruled by superiors, such as kings. But while its cause is noble and ambitious, democracy has proved difficult for humanity to maintain. This is because it requires the denial of our more basic self-destructive instincts, such as greed. Instead, it requires us to rely on a set of agreed-upon values which are under constant threat by humanity's oldest enemy, himself. Truly, from the very beginning, maintaining America's democracy was a concern of the founders and the framers. In fact, Alexander Hamilton notes in Federalist No. 1, "It has been frequently remarked that it seems to have been reserved to the people of this country by their conduct and example to decide the important question, whether societies of men are really capable or not of establishing good government from reflection and choice, or whether they are forever destined to depend for their political constitutions on accident and force." In Hamilton's voice, we hear the challenge. We must maintain the highest form of governance, not revert back to a civilization based on the philosophy that might makes right, protect our values, and reflect on our problems so we can choose the best possible solutions. So, where exactly does this highest form of governance come from? There are two sources of democracy, and these are both rooted in the principle of popular sovereignty. The first source is individual will. By now, you should know deeply and fully that you, the citizen, are the source of democracy and political authority. This should bring a sense of ownership over one's actions and decisions, revealing the individual will. The second is the public good. Although individualism is an important part of American identity, the individual is surrounded by other individuals, and this relationship creates a social body, or the public good. We have learned, too, that democracy implies cooperation and compromise. Disagreement creates debate, and debate expands what is possible in order to draw out consensus, to figure out what is common to all the individuals. Popular sovereignty is based on the concepts of equality, liberty, and justice. These concepts and principles also form the basis for consensus. So democracy is agreement born out of disagreement and requires both the individual, you and me separately, as well as the public, or us, together. Democracy is the tool we use to navigate the tension created by the individual will, or your personal interests, and the public good, the common needs of society. Time for our lessons. First, show what you know. What are the sources of democracy? How are they connected? Another basic tenet of our American society is that we believe our freedom is not given to us by any government or master, but is instead granted to us as a condition of our birth. Thomas Jefferson once said, "Every man and everybody of men on earth possesses the right of self-government. They receive it with their being from the hand of nature." Democracy argues that each individual is capable of debating and determining the policies that should direct society, and through this process, individuals establish a social reality. This reality springs up from our political principles and processes, and within these processes, agreement converges around important questions and issues that are common to all. But while these political processes do generate agreement, it's equally important to remember that they also allow room for disagreement as well. Tolerance for differences in opinion creates space for individuals to determine their own futures. Given the space to reflect and choose how to act and dispose of their property, citizens are better able to accomplish personal goals. Democracy also creates the potential for the American Revolution to continue, only in a more peaceful way. It summons the political potential of all people, and when this potential is acted upon, it allows us to identify contradictions in our world, reminding us that we have a shared responsibility to resolve them. This fateful challenge empowers each American citizen with the ability to push the revolutionary idea forward through the revolutionary tradition set forth by the Founding Fathers. And even after centuries of debate, elections, and policy creation, many contradictions persist, even to this day. Take, for example, the contradiction that exists between equality and liberty. If everyone is free, some people will have advantages over others. The distribution of advantages and disadvantages creates an uneven playing field and subverts equality. On the other hand, making everyone fully equal would mean making everyone the same, stripping away the ability for a person to pursue happiness based on one's own free will and thereby diminish individual liberty. To navigate this tension, we must rely on our established principles and practices, such as the social contract. These enable us to use government and constitutions as tools to establish civil rights, helping us handle disputes in a civilized manner. Our principles and practices give us the opportunity to change society by reminding us that we are at liberty to recognize contradictions and to resolve them through various political tools such as civic associations, freedom of assembly, speech, press, and petition. The key word here is liberty. We are free to choose to walk this tightrope, to be ever watchful, scrutinizing policy and politics, so that our social momentum does not swing too far toward one direction or another, or else we run the risk of falling into chaos or authoritarianism. Authoritarianism shuts down social progress. Instead of challenging humanity to solve its own problems, authoritarianism defines progress as the status quo. This lack of personal freedom inevitably creates instability, and this exact flaw is the problem the American experiment attempts to resolve. The ideal American citizen is empowered to research and reinvent the social reality according to their needs and according to the needs of the general public. to define and renew the revolution with each generation. It's that time again. Time to show what you know. What creates democratic freedom? How does democracy create the conditions for a continuous revolution? What is the ideal American citizen empowered to do? So why is the American citizen a revolutionary idea? Let's consider all we have covered throughout the course. In Unit 1, we discovered that nationalism is a phenomenon rooted in a common history, language, and culture. But these characteristics are based on a common ethnicity, defined by regional borders within a nation. America was created without the reliance on ethnicity to establish a shared national identity. This was a revolutionary idea. In Unit 2, we found out that the development of the United States was the result of enlightened philosophies that share an idea, the idea that the political power of individuals and the need for a social contract would ensure the public good. The application of this idea had never been done before, and it created the American citizen as well as new government institutions. Unit 3 offered us a view into the structures of our government and how they are limited. We learned that our principles limit the scope of our government institutions and that these same principles create numerous public access points so that common individuals can intervene in the policy-making and legal processes. Some of these access points include appellate courts, due process, checks and balances. And in Unit 4, we learned how these structures combined with mass democracy to create a revolutionary tradition which enables American citizens to work together to change society and themselves in the process. Unit 5 taught us that, while flawed, the electoral process secures for the American citizen the final word in the election of government officials. This process also grants us the ability to hold those in office accountable. Jefferson called this a bloodless revolution. And in Unit 6, we learned there are many influences on these election processes, many of which are out of the hands of the common person. However, despite these influences, ultimately it is the public opinion that has the final say. Which brings us to our current unit. And as we have learned in this unit and throughout the course, numerous issues face each generation. But as we've learned throughout this course, embedded into the American system is a collection of American citizens who share political traditions and culture based in principles rather than in ethnic backgrounds. These principles kindled our revolutionary tradition and established our culture. And if properly protected and realized, these same principles enable us to come up with answers to those issues and to form that more perfect union. Be sure to go to the final PDF and answer the essential question. Recap! In this course, we learned that the government is a function of its citizens. This relationship is determined by the constitutions that form the bonds between our society. But that is not a given. Finally, our revolutionary tradition is both a bond between citizens that forms the social fabric of American society and the tool to expand and move our society forward. We hope you've enjoyed this course just as much as we've enjoyed presenting it. Good luck in your future studies, remain ever vigilant in protecting our principles, and remember, vote, debate, and participate.